Hello, brilliant student. Welcome to Topic 10 of your CRS exam preparation series. Today we are discussing faith and works from the Epistle of James. This topic appears in your exams every single year. In this lesson, you will learn the relationship between faith and works. What James meant by faith without works is dead, the examples James used, and how to answer exam questions. Let us begin. First, let us understand who James was. James was the brother of Jesus. During Jesus' earthly ministry, James did not believe in him. But after Jesus rose from the dead, James became a believer. He became the leader of the church in Jerusalem. He wrote the letter that bears his name to Jewish believers who had been scattered among the nations. The letter of James is very practical. It deals with how believers should live. One of the main themes of the letter is the relationship between faith and works. The key passage for your exam is James chapter 2, verses 14 to 26. Let me read what James wrote. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, "You have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds." You believe that there is one God. Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You foolish person. Do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? Was not our father Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? You see that his faith and his actions were working together, and his faith was made complete by what he did. You see that a person is considered righteous by what they do, not by faith alone. In the same way, was not even Rahab the prostitute considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them off in a different direction? As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. This is the most important passage for your exam. You need to understand exactly what James is saying. James is not saying that we are saved by works. The Bible is clear that we are saved by grace through faith, not by works. Paul wrote in Ephesians that it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. So James and Paul do not disagree. They are addressing different problems. Paul was addressing people who thought they could earn their salvation by keeping the law. James was addressing people who thought they could have faith without any evidence of that faith in their lives. Let me explain what James means by faith without works is dead. Faith is like a body. Works are like the spirit. A body without a spirit is dead. It is a corpse. In the same way, faith without works is dead. It is not real faith. It is just words. Real faith produces good works. If someone says they have faith, but they do not help those in need, their faith is dead. It is useless. It cannot save them. James gives two examples of people whose faith was proven by their works. The first example is Abraham. Abraham is called the father of faith. He believed God when God promised to give him a son. He believed God when God told him to leave his country. But James points to a specific work of Abraham. He points to when Abraham offered his son Isaac on the altar. God tested Abraham. He said, "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering." Abraham obeyed. He took Isaac and went to the place God told him. He built an altar. He arranged the wood. He bound Isaac and placed him on the altar. He raised his knife to slay his son. Then the angel of the Lord called out to him and said, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." This was a work. Abraham acted on his faith. He trusted God so much that he was willing to sacrifice his son. He believed that God could raise Isaac from the dead. His faith and his actions worked together. His faith was made complete by what he did. This is what James means. Real faith leads to action. Abraham's faith was proven by his works. The second example is Rahab. Rahab was a prostitute who lived in Jericho. When the Israelites sent 2 spies to scout out the land, they came to Rahab's house. The king of Jericho heard that Israelite spies were in the city. He sent word to Rahab to bring them out. But Rahab hid the spies on her roof under stalks of flax. She told the king's men that the spies had already left. She said, "Go after them quickly. You may catch them." Rahab then went to the spies and told them that the people of Jericho were afraid of Israel. She asked them to spare her and her family when the Israelites attacked. The spies agreed. They told her to tie a scarlet cord in her window. When the Israelites conquered Jericho, Rahab and her family were saved. Rahab's actions proved her faith. She believed that the God of Israel was the true God. She acted on that belief. She risked her life to hide the spies. She lied to the king's men. Her faith was demonstrated by her works. James uses Rahab as an example of someone who was considered righteous by what she did, not by faith alone. This does not mean that Rahab earned her salvation by her works. It means that her works proved that her faith was real. The same is true for us. Now, let me explain the difference between James and Paul for your exam. Paul says in Romans that a person is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. James says that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. Are they contradicting each other? No. They are using the same word, justified, in different ways. Paul uses justified to mean declared righteous before God. We are declared righteous by faith alone. James uses justified to mean demonstrated to be righteous before people. Our works demonstrate that our faith is real. Paul is talking about how we are saved. James is talking about how we prove that we are saved. A tree is known by its fruit. A person's faith is known by their works. Let me give you an example. Suppose someone says they are a doctor. They have a medical degree. They have passed all the exams, but they never treat patients. They never help sick people. They never prescribe medicine. Would you believe they are a real doctor? Probably not. Their degree is like faith. Their actions are like works. The degree without action is useless. In the same way, faith without works is useless. Real faith produces real action. James gives another example. He says, if a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food, and you say to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but you do nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? This is a very practical test. If you see someone in need and you have the ability to help, do you help them? Or do you just say nice words? Real faith leads to action. It leads to helping those in need. It leads to caring for the poor, the widows, and the orphans. This is what James is teaching. What are some other works that prove faith? The book of James gives many examples. Controlling your tongue. James says that anyone who considers themselves religious but does not keep a tight rein on their tongue deceives themselves. Their religion is worthless. Caring for orphans and widows. James says that religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, not showing favoritism. James says that if you show favoritism to rich people over poor people, you are sinning. Being patient in suffering. James says that believers should be patient until the Lord's coming. Praying in faith. James says that the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. These are all works that prove faith is real. A common exam question asks you to explain what James means by faith without works is dead. Here is a sample answer. James means that true faith produces good works. Faith is like a body. Works are like the spirit. A body without a spirit is dead. In the same way, faith without works is dead. If someone claims to have faith but does not help those in need, their faith is useless. It cannot save them. Real faith is proven by actions. Another exam question asks you to discuss the examples of Abraham and Rahab. Here is your answer. Abraham proved his faith by his willingness to sacrifice his son Isaac on the altar. He trusted God so much that he was willing to obey even when the command was hard. His faith and his actions worked together. Rahab proved her faith by hiding the Israelite spies and helping them escape. She risked her life because she believed that the God of Israel was the true God. Both Abraham and Rahab were considered righteous because their works demonstrated that their faith was real. Another exam question asks you to compare James and Paul on faith and works. Here is your answer. Paul teaches that a person is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. He is talking about how we are saved. We cannot earn salvation by good works. James teaches that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. He is talking about how we demonstrate that our faith is real. Good works do not save us, but they prove that we are saved. The two teachings do not contradict. They complement each other. True faith always produces good works. Let me summarize what you have learned. Faith without works is dead. Real faith produces good works. James gives two examples. Abraham proved his faith by offering Isaac. Rahab proved her faith by hiding the spies. Good works do not save us, but they show that our faith is real. For your exam, always explain that faith and works go together. Faith is the root. Works are the fruit. The root produces the fruit. A tree without fruit is dead. Faith without works is dead. You now understand faith and works from the Epistle of James. You have completed all 10 topics in the CRS exam preparation series. Practice explaining this topic to someone else. Teaching is the best way to learn. Good luck in your exams.